This is the iRacers Lounge, featuring the latest iRacing news, driver interviews, race reviews, opinions, discussions, rumors, and more. Now here's Alan Pajari and Mike Ellis.
Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Alan Pajari. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer, where we'll talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. With me here is Mike Ellis, Carlos Fonseca, and Jose Paban. All right, guys. The Pro Series is over with.
Yeah.
So, last podcast we talked with Andrew Fayash, who won the Richmond race. And then they had one more race, which was Daytona, where Nicholas Johnston pulled off the win, and they crowned a new champion of Josh Berry. So I believe we all kind of have heard of Josh Berry. He's one of those real race car drivers that has driven in the Xfinity Series for JR Motorsports, I believe.
Yeah, I was actually excited for a minute when I saw his name on our scripts. I thought, oh, he's going to be our special guest, but he isn't. Sorry, fans. But Josh Berry, yeah, he's a real car. He does the super late models for Junior Motorsports.
Yep. Someday we'll have him on. But congratulations goes out to Josh for winning the Pro Series Championship, and for everyone that is transferring over into the Peak Series. Congratulations to them. And as you know, the road to Pro for the Peak doesn't start until October for the next guys that want to try to make a Pro Series or have their Peak license, I should say.
Right. And a special shout out to one of our regulars that's sometimes on the show, Logan Clampett. He moves on as well.
Yep. Congratulations, Logan. And I believe Andrew moved on. And so should be a good series. And soon we'll have some guests talking about that series and what their goals are for the year. And hopefully that'll be before their Daytona race, which is coming up.
But that just means iRacers Lounge is lucky. You know, those guys come on, they move on. It worked out.
Yep, it is. It is good. Yeah, maybe that's the hope for all these guys to come on and get some wins and get some championships and stuff. So let's move on to another oval series, which is the A Open. And in between shows, we had Milwaukee and Phoenix. Milwaukee, not very many races went oval, or went official, I should say. Nothing split, and I consider it basically a waste of week. Shouldn't even been on the schedule. What do you guys think about Milwaukee being on a Open schedule?
Well, where's my 10-foot pole? Yeah, I'm not running a Open. Obviously, official. Only official races I'm running are really NIS, but. Yeah, I don't want to mess up my IR, so I'm staying away.
Yeah, just to me, it was, it's basically a one-shot make a setup for Milwaukee. It's different than other tracks out there, and it's just, the interest, I know on our team, the interest was very low on actually racing there. Matter of fact, very, 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 very low. Like no one wanted to do it, and so no one did. And so... happy for the guys that did race there. If you enjoyed Milwaukee, that's good for you. But I don't know. I think that track is pretty good for trucks.
IndyCar is awesome.
Yeah, there. IndyCar. But anything besides that, personally, to me, if the Cup car doesn't go there, I consider it a waste. So, and that's I know Iowa's coming up on the schedule too, and I consider that a waste too.
Well, it's kind of like when they put Monza on, right?
Yeah, yep, just like a Monza. So it's good for the C-Fix stuff, which is going on this week. So I don't know if you guys have watched any of those C-Fix races at Monza.
Brad, one of our teammates, Brad Miller, and he's one of our regulars here too. He went and ran that truck race at Monza, and he basically said, "Boy, that's a good way to give up your numbers."
Or gain it. It just depends on what happens to you, because it is You know how they always talk about in the 13th week. A lot of people talk about, for week 13. Yeah, I'm gonna get my popcorn and watch the low splits, street stock races or whatever.
Right.
No, watch the C fixed at Monza.
Yep.
You know,
Because you can't go side by side getting into one or three. And you really need to be, nose to tail with people.
I was thinking we just see anything. See fixed is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is, but to me, especially Monza, I know I watched one race and they couldn't make a lap. There was not a single lap went green all the way around.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was just horrible. So it was just, I don't even know why people do it, to be honest with you, but they do. So anyway, let's move on to the Phoenix week. And I got to tell you, I did one race there.
I saw that.
And it was the first time in my iRacing career I've been disqualified out of a race.
For what, incidents?
Yep, for incident points.
Holy moly.
Yep. One of them was caused by me when I spun out, but I was already so upset by that time.
Well, if you go look at it, you'll see the way they drive.
And so that kind of brings my question on, why is the driving so bad at Phoenix? Why is it that bad? Is it the dogleg? Do you think it was the addition of the dogleg made it horrible, or is it just the people on you?
It's the whole thing that you have to actually drive and let off the gas and hit the brake, and I don't know, so many tracks you don't have to do that at, and I think, people just try too hard.
To me, I'm so sick of being used as a brake for some people going into 3 because they cut the dog leg so much, and then they just come riding up on you. And
then they blame it on you. Huh?
Yeah, then of course they blame it on you. But to me, I just think that it's even in the A Open, where I think I was out of the race before half the race was over with. Yeah, it was that bad, and it was just so disappointing on how people drive there and the wrecks and everything else, and I knew it was going to be bad because I think in top split Monday night, the first race of the week, there was like 13 cautions. It's a 125 lap race. So
the question, is this first account or second account?
Oh, this is first. This is first account. So
it sounds like you give it up some IR there.
Yeah, and I am. I was up to 3,800. Now I'm down to 35. So it's just, and for the first time in a long time, I'm not a 4.99 safety rating either. It's just I don't get the driving there, and A Open's been disappointing. How about that? It's just been disappointing. But it started off well, and then it's been getting worse as we're on short tracks. But hey, it's Charlotte this week, so maybe we'll be back to some decent racing. I don't know. It all depends on, I guess, on how everything goes there. But yeah, I don't know. I know I'm the only one here that drives the Open, and to be honest with you, it's been fun setting up the cars, it's been fun working with my teammates, and it's been fun doing that kind of stuff like that. But the racing has been extremely disappointing, and hopefully it will get better, especially as we come up near on the NIS. So let's talk a little bit about the NIS.
Yeah, we got some updates. They actually announced some additional time slots for each week, basically targeted for the Europeans and Australians. And they're going to be Wednesday and Thursday afternoons, U.S. time. And I'll be working, so I don't think I'll be able to do those. So I'm kind of disappointed that it's during the day or it's during my work day, and I'm going to have to miss one of the chances at running an event. But at the same time, I'm happy for the other people that, maybe they got a time slot that might work for them.
Well, as what I saw, most of the Europeans or Australians were very happy about these 2 additional time slots. It's Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and that's for the fixed, and Open is Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And be honest with you, since I work from home, I might dabble myself into a few of these races. So
Well,
I'm actually kind of happy about it.
Yeah, I work from home too, and that's kind of a problem for me because I'm like, I want to go racing, but I need to work.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess for me, depending on what's going on at work, I might jump in. Might but I'm happy about it. That's all I can say because there's a few of the evenings I cannot join and get into races. So this might actually work out for someone like me. Will work out for other people that race during the day, and especially works out for the Europeans. So I think this is actually a good thing
Yeah, it's
for
gonna be
them.
good for open for me.
Yeah. So and that's pretty good though. So and on top of it, there'll probably be a lot less people in it. So if you do want to race, if your iRating's high enough and you might want to do some higher split stuff, then this might be good for you. So kind of all depends. But I'm glad they did it. I still like to have the limited amount as possible of slots that people can join a race because I'm not a big fan of the every 2 hour deal. So I think this is
A good compromise.
yeah, it's a good compromise. So now that brings 5 times that people can join for a fixed and 4 for the open, and so I don't think that's too bad. And they also mentioned about some possible 8-car changes coming up, Mike.
Well, one thing I want to point out real quick about as far as points, as far as this new session, it's still your best of 4, right? So if you do 5 events, it's going to take a average of your best 2.
I would still think it'd be your best 4, and then if once you hit 5, then it starts doing the averages thing. So
Right.
yeah, I would still think it
So
would
I think
follow
people
that.
just need to be aware of. I guess my point is if you're going into that 5th race, you better be aware that you're going to be walking away with an average finish.
Yeah, which is yeah, people should be aware of that, but it's I think that's still fine. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna race the fix 5 times, then yeah, then it should take your average, I guess.
So the next big tidbit here was they're working on the physics sides of the rules changes that NASCAR implemented for the 2016 season as far as what they're calling the low downforce package. It's actually a lower downforce package. It's really not a low downforce package. It's more of a medium to medium high. But regardless, they're saying now that those rule changes will be out in the March build. So at least we have a time frame. We were wondering if we're going to see them by the race after Daytona at Atlanta, or are they going to wait till the next major build? Which is the answer. They are waiting till the next major build for that.
Yeah, which I figured. I figured they wouldn't be putting out some kind of a change until the end of the season 1 here. So that so that'd be after Las Vegas.
Well, and it gives iRacing a couple weeks to see how NASCAR reacts with Atlanta and so forth with those first couple races, and see how they go. Because it's possible NASCAR might make additional changes, if something goes wrong.
Yeah, it's possible. But I will say it's probably going to be changing enough where the setup makers are going to be having some issues there, especially if they need to do it quickly. What's the race right after Las Vegas there, Mike? Phoenix.
Yeah, so Atlanta, Vegas, Phoenix.
Yep. So if the first one is going to be Phoenix, then that's going to, it is going to be another one of those times where you can just take all your setups that you had made in the past and toss them.
Right.
So
Run the fixed and
yeah. So it's I think it's going to be kind of back to that mode for people where everything that they have built is going to fail inspection and probably not going to do them any good anymore. So.
oh yeah, this is a completely different car.
Right.
I'm excited for it. It's going to lower the corner speeds. and it's going to make braking and getting back on the throttle more of a premium, you know?
Yep. I agree with that. And anything that takes people away from hot lapping a lot should be good. So what other changes are coming down the pipe
Well,
here, Mike?
digital dashboard is now required for NASCAR drivers in 2016. We saw it a couple times in use at the end of last season by a few drivers, Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman, I believe. But they're saying now they're going to hold off a little bit on making any changes for us regarding the digital dashboard to see if NASCAR is going to make any additional changes to make it more visible to the drivers. So I think we'll know, once we get into the Daytona Speed Weeks, I think we'll know if NASCAR is going to change anything. And I guess there's speculation that, they might make it bigger or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. And what's a thing they mentioned about the 3D car modeling?
Well, the 3D car model portion is a licensing issue that needs to be worked out with the manufacturers, and we will hold off on making that change until we can do it all at the same time. We have Ford worked out, but we need to work on GM and Toyota still. So iRacing is basically saying, we got to deal with Ford, we got to work out Chevy and Toyota, and then we'll announce it, or we'll make the changes all at once, which I think I think before, didn't they just make the changes one car at a time as they made the deals?
Well, I know the Ford engine sound has changed, but I don't think anything else has changed from it. So I guess if the look of the cars are going to be changing, then I would say it probably makes sense to do them all at the same time for sake of whoever's doing that work. So
Yeah, I didn't know that the Real NASCAR 2016 package included any 3D, car modeling. The way it looked changes. I think maybe the Ford had a little bit different front, but obviously the spoilers and the clearance to the ground are going to be different.
Yeah, right. So I guess all in all, there's going to be some changes in the Cup car, and we know one that's possibly going to happen in March, which is the physics change, and then we should look for the others.
Yep.
All right. Big race a couple weeks ago. 24 Hours Daytona. You guys participated. How'd you do? Who was on your team? What car did you drive?
Well, yeah, Team Tifosi, we had one car. We had the fast car, the Corvette, and I think we finished 8th. Is that right, Carlos?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
not sure.
8th. We finished the race, 8th, several laps down. We brought it home in one piece. I mean, it wasn't really. We had some incidents here and there, but we didn't wreck the car. So I think we lost
incidents.
Yeah, we lost most of our laps early in the early stints. After that, we didn't lose much. We pretty much kept up with pace. Carlos, what else? I mean, it's pretty uneventful.
Well, I don't know. First time in my car, I spun the thing. Hit someone who was in the middle of the track.
Yeah,
Got
Carlos, you had a
damage.
couple incidents.
And it was
yeah.
only minor damage and black flag, meatball flag, whatever, to go get it fixed. It was optional only. What was it, 10 seconds optional or 40 seconds optional, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it wouldn't let. We did a driver change in the middle of the repairs, and it wouldn't let us finish the repairs after we changed drivers.
Yeah, I think that was our fault there. I should have stayed in the car.
Yeah, I think that was one of the bugs reported beforehand about the black
meatball flags.
Yeah, but don't change drivers. Otherwise, I won't finish the repair.
Yeah, I missed that one.
That
I
probably
guess.
cost us a lap.
Yeah, so that cost us, and yeah, there were some other things, and I think early on, what we concluded, doing the quarterback afterwards, and looking back at the race, where did we go wrong? I think early on we were going on timed stints instead of running the car out of gas, and we ended up pitting more often than the people we were racing. So after a few hours in, we got to talking and said, hey, this isn't working. Let's change. So we started doing fuel stint runs where we ran the tank out of gas, and I think that helped. But it kind of hurt us there early with that different strategy.
Yep. So who was all on your team?
Well, Jose Pabon, Carlos Fonseca, Mike Ellis, Brian Kozer,
Matt Boley, wasn't it? Matt and
Boley,
Brad Wren.
Brad Wren, and Brad Miller, who's one of our teammates. He actually spotted pretty much most of the time and did a great job.
All right. Did any of you guys stay up the whole 24 hours?
No, I don't think anyone was on the whole time. Probably Brad Miller, even though he didn't do any driving. He was probably on the most because he did stay up late with the overnight guys while the rest of us went to bed.
Yeah, at 5 o'clock I was baked. I told him, I hope you don't wreck, but I'm gone.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. Yeah, well, our team at One Up Motorsports, we had two teams. And so we had a Corvette DP team of Derek Bordeaux, Colton Landis, Sam Roush, and Josh Campbell. And those guys were pretty fast. They started, I think, the last DP in their split, which was the third split, which I think was 22nd. And Derek started the car, and I believe he got up there, up in the top 5 by the time his first pit stop, and then I think Colton took over at that time, and they were in first place before Colton, I think, gave up the car to Josh there, and those guys did real well. They were involved in a few incidents, but I guess the nose cone gets replaced on those DPs.
Well, I got to say, I was watching, and Derek Bordeaux is fast, and everybody who races him knows that. And he took so many chances, like 3 wide into one, and all this, dive in between lap traffic, and zigzagging. He was going. Like it was like the last lap, and I told my teammates, "There's no way they're going to finish this race." So I guess I'm the first one to eat crow here and say, good job, Derek and Colton and Sam and Josh. I called that you guys weren't going to finish, but you obviously did. So good job.
Not only that, 1 lap over everyone else.
Yeah, they were in a few things, but they were fast. The team I was on was the GT3 team, which was the BMW team. We had Travis Sullenberger, myself, Marty Sponsor, Jason Miller, Bradley Avard, and Tyler Hudson in that car. And we kept the thing completely clean throughout. We had 45 incidents altogether for the 24 hours. All 45 were off track, and I think 44 of them were off track when you're coming out of the bus stop. Yep. And so, but we were just completely clean. Matter of fact, Tyler ran the most laps, and he had 0 incidents throughout his stints. And but for some reason we just felt really slow, even though we got some, like Marty and Travis and Tyler are all very fast road racers, and
BMW.
We were in the BMW. We just felt really slow. But the one thing that I noticed in this race, and by the way, we finished 7th, which was pretty good. It was just disappointing because you'd figured 24 hours, keep the car clean. That's what you need to do, and but it wasn't working in this race.
Yeah, there's very little attrition.
Yeah, but one of the things I was really disappointed was there were some cars that finished ahead of us that were just beat the hell up. McLaren's, the front ends were all just like nothing, and the wings were all shot, and and I couldn't. Why were they driving so dang fast when they were so damaged? The leader of the race T-boned another car and just kept on driving like there was nothing. Like there was no problem whatsoever, and I don't understand the current damage model discussion or
Yeah, I know.
damage model. Did you guys see any of this stuff?
Yeah, I think so. But when I was in the car, that wreck I was talking about that I got in, I barely touched another guy, and that's probably what gave me the most damage. But I ended up getting clobbered by someone, T-boned as well. And I figured, oh, we're done. That's half hour of damage, and nope, only 40 seconds optional.
Yeah, that was odd because I also thought the race was over for us, and there was no damage.
See, now to me, I understand if you're in a big wreck, setting the thing for 30 minutes, get things replaced and that type of stuff. But I even know for our DP team, they were replacing noses in 10 seconds, but when I saw these damage cars, and when you think about it, if your wing is all shot in the back, wouldn't that make that car more difficult to drive? Or if your front end is all beat up, shouldn't you be slower when you're on the oval part of the track? And we were getting passed by McLarens that were beat up, and and I was just really disappointed about the current damage model. And this actually kind of goes on with all cars, and I think it kind of goes back to that crappy race in the way we got things going.
Is it the damage model or is it the BMW is a dog?
Well, the BMW
Damage
kind of
model.
was a dog, but the damage model is really, really bad. Just for example, I was telling you about that Monza race I was watching with the C fixed. I was seeing trucks flip over, run into the guardrails, keep on going. They just go and stop, and they just keep on going. Now, to me, if you flip, that's that.
You're done.
You're done. I don't understand it. And so and I am also seeing this in the A car where it doesn't matter. Go ahead and wreck people. Go ahead and wreck your car. It really doesn't matter because you're still going to have the speed. I think the damage model is broken. I don't care what it looks like.
It's damaged.
Now, yeah, if the car looks damaged, that's fine. What they've done there has been great. It does look damaged. Problem is, if you don't slow down the car, if there's no penalty, then then who cares?
Yeah, we also had a report on the forums of on the meatball flag issue for optional damage. Dalton Baldwin, I don't know what split he was in, but he claims he was leading the race and had to come in for a 10-second optional repair, and the black flag would not go away, the meatball flag. They pitted 3 times to try to get it to clear, and they couldn't get it cleared, and he says he lost the race because of it.
So it's another one of those bugs that's in this current build. There's no doubt about it. But what other bugs did you see out there? I know there was one that basically every one of our drivers saw, and that was...
Oh, the yellow flag coming onto the oval.
Well, I think we've known that for a while now, but yeah, that's at least for the last couple of years that has been there. But we had one that was a stuttering issue where basically it looked like your screen freezes. And basically everyone saw this at least at one point during their race, is where you felt like you were going to end up running into the wall because you couldn't tell where you were going. It was that bad. And it wasn't just like a graphics type of thing either. It was like, the game is like so stuttered,
So was it your computer or was it iRacing?
I think it was iRacing because basically everyone saw it, even, and it wasn't at the same time. It was just sometime in their race and in whatever corner that they might have been. It was really bad. Now, we heard about the stuttering issues before, being people would talk about, well, you can do this to cut down your stuttering and that type of stuff. But it wasn't like that at all. It was like, it would be like a, how you're thinking, well, if I have bad frames, it's like 30 frames a second or whatever. It might even get down to 20, but this was like a frame a second, maybe even worse. it was that bad.
Undrivable.
Almost undrivable. I was about ready to pull over and tell someone to take over because I was afraid something was really happening with my computer. But then when I started hearing from other people, and I don't know if you guys are Twitch watchers at all, but basically half the world stream their races. So you can just watch a bunch of people. There was a bunch of people talking about it, and there was, so I know it was happening to a lot of people where they would have that huge stuttering issue. So, but did you hear about any other bugs besides the black flag and this?
I think that's it.
Well, they did have the one about the website not necessarily working at the time of the race, and so they started up another session hour and a half later.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, that kind of makes me mad. That I was, I got up and I wasn't there for the start, but I saw the communication about what happened. And basically what happened is there were lots of teams that couldn't get in for the start of the race, and they missed it. And so iRacing decided to launch another race session, 30 minutes later, so those other teams could get in. And I was thinking, well, then we're not splitting the field correctly here. Maybe they should kill the first session and relaunch with everybody in the same session, so we have proper splits.
Well, I'm glad they didn't do that, but I also don't necessarily think that they should have allowed teams that registered in the first session to register in the second session.
Right. So did teams do that? I didn't hear of anyone doing that.
Yeah, matter of fact, one of the guys that we frequently have on the show who made the Peak series this year, so I think you know who I'm talking about, was involved in the first lap crash where he was flipping all over the place. Next thing I know, his team is in the second race. So there you go.
So they get 2 chances and everyone else gets 1.
You got it. So if you happen to crash out in that first hour and a half, good luck to you. You can move on to the second one. Just move on. So, and I believe that we probably had about 4 or 5 teams that moved on.
Yeah, I was. That's why I was not happy. I didn't think it was a good move. It just didn't feel right in my gut that they should have a second session startup that's unplanned, literally.
Yeah, I can understand. Well, the thing is, I'm sure the reason why they did it is because they had website issues at the time, and maybe a little bit later we'll talk about the website issues. But they had the problems, and so they wanted to give people an opportunity to race, so they did that. So I can understand the reason why they did it. I just think that if you were involved in one, you can't be involved in the other. That's just my opinion on that. But
and who knows, maybe there's no way for them to set up that kind of check, oh, you can't register because you registered for this other thing. Maybe they don't have code in place for that, but they should, after what's happened, if they're ever going to have do that again, here's the chance, make up some code, and don't let that happen.
Right. And also, I don't know how bad these people were with their websites and stuff like that, but if you weren't giving yourself the proper time to make sure that you can join the race, because as Tony Gardner wrote in his thing, there was 1,400 people that joined the race. 1,400 people. And so apparently they gave themselves enough time to be able to join the race. Then what happened to those other people? Why, did you try to try to get in the race in the last 5 minutes? What'd you try to do? So I know for us, as soon as 6:30 came along where you can start to, or, Central Time, as soon as that came along and as soon as you can start to join the race, we were trying to join the race.
Yeah, we had problems. Jose Pabon was going to start. He could not get in. Our backup plan, Brad Wren, he was able to. So he actually had to join. We joined the race under Brad's name, which was Plan B because Jose was having those problems with the website.
Yeah,
right, but you had a backup plan, right? But you had a backup plan.
Yeah, we're smart enough to know iRacing, has issues, and
Especially
and
on
we
this
need
big
more
of an
than
event.
one person there. And the other thing that was going on, if you remember, we had that storm. I just dropped my coffee. We had that storm with the big on the East Coast with all the snow, and we were worried about a power failure for Jose as well. And that was one of the other reasons we had a backup plan.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yep. That was with us too. So we always made sure that we had a couple guys, and we had a total, I think, on the two teams, 4 people on the East Coast that were being affected by the snow. Poor Colton, they had 3 feet, and just so we were prepared for that too. And it's also kind of like the reason why I got up early that morning, because Travis was going to start it, and just in case Travis couldn't get in, I was ready to do it. So yeah, you got to have that backup plan. And I think some of these people were not prepared, but I guess it's a live and learn situation, and but I do understand the reason why iRacing did that. But anyway, it is what it is, and I guess we'll move on. I guess it didn't affect our race, so except for the fact that it seemed like either people were crashing out or leaving the race because maybe their other teammates started the next one, So I don't know. All right, let's talk about Mr. Majeski there. Mike?
What was that?
Let's talk about Mr. Majeski as you're trying to reach for your coffee there.
Yeah, I just went everywhere. What a mess. Ty Majeski, Real Racing here, renews sponsorship with iRacing for the 2016 season. And that's great news. We've always liked to see iRacing helping out in this real racing endeavor, and they continue on. So great news.
All right, and iRacing put out another YouTube video, and this one's basically IMSA, a little promo on that, and they actually did some little comparisons between iRacing and the real IMSA looks and feels and stuff. And so it was, if you're a fan of IMSA racing for real, then there was like, well, come do it pretty much the exact same thing. I'm on almost all the tracks on iRacing. And so it was a nice little video. I mean, they do put them together kind of nicely, so it looked good.
Now, who watched the actual 24-hour race? Boy, it was some great racing, and I guess compared to the iRacing version, we need some better racing on the iRacing version. Boy, they had some great racing going on.
Yeah, but maybe in the top split it was some good racing.
Right.
So I mean, I wasn't up there. As a matter of fact, I didn't see any of the racing from top split. I do know. I believe that it was kind of the usual teams up there that up front and that won that race. I know Martin Kroenke, I think, was one of the guys that won the race in the DP, but or on that team. But so it's the kind of the usual names that you expect in the top split, and but I got a feeling probably the racing was a lot better there than it was in some of the splits that we were in,
Right.
So why don't you talk about the next one here, Mike?
Yeah, another YouTube video from iRacing. This time, talking about the McLaren Formula One car and all the different features on it, and kind of how they work and stuff. And there's also a setup guide in PDF that you can download. That's in the forum post. So if you search McLaren Honda in the forums, you'll probably find it. But the user's guide is kind of neat. It's several pages long, 12 pages, and it talks about tires, differential, power unit, dampers, inertia, chassis, and so forth, and just everything about the car. And if you're trying to set it up, I think this is a must read.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on that car. So I know I don't own it yet, and I'm not sure when I will, but thing seems like it's over my head. I gotta tell you that. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt it. I have hard enough times with the regular cars. But, you know, it's very impressive, the people that can do it. I am impressed by that.
You know, one thing I am interested in with the new cars is going to be the Grand Prix series that's going to be coming up, and see on how guys that normally do well, like Hutu and Cronky and stuff, and just see how they handle the new car.
Right. Do they pick up where they left off or what? Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be quite interesting. And I don't know, I'm sure it's going to be produce some great racing up there.
Yeah, there's a lot
guys.
of changes for them, like DRS zone and stuff like that, that they just never have done.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't imagine all the dials and switches and buttons that they got to have near their rig and stuff, be able to handle all these things, you know. So I don't know. I think that's good, because it probably should make you feel like you're more in an F1 race than ever before, and so that should be good. Let's talk a little bit about iRacing website issues now. In our notes here, we got iRacing.com will be done. We're going to update our website. Outage this afternoon. We're going to be updating our website. We got it in here several times. So they've been updating their website.
Lots of small outages. There was an unplanned outage on the 19th of January. Another short outage on the 20th where the website went down. And as you said, multiple times, these are being scheduled. And, you know, you're not seeing anything visually on the website after these updates. I think they're just trying to, you know, Band-Aid some fixes together and just try to optimize what they got, trying to get to the next build. What do you think?
That's what I think so too. I think they're just trying to, let's get us to the next build. And I'm pretty sure that probably can't come soon enough for them, because my guess is that they're getting closer and closer and closer to not eliminate the website, as I think we've seen in the stuff that they plan to do before, but to minimize the website as much as possible. And I think it was in that video that they had one time when they were talking about the next generation, where basically you're going to be where they want to feature or get us into the sim quicker and hold us into the sim more than the website, which is basically the sim runs on your computer. And so it's really distributed networking type of thing. So they want to put it more on your computer and more stuff on there. And that should fix a lot of issues that they have with their website.
Right.
Now I hear people saying, well, you know, eBay is able to have so many people on their site, and Amazon's able to have so many people on their site and stuff. But iRacing's not eBay or Amazon or Microsoft or whoever else is having a high traffic website. So, and I'm sure they're putting more resources into the sim itself than they are on the website, because they plan to move away from that as much as possible.
Right. That's why you're not seeing it overhauled and whatnot. Yeah, there's another outage even tomorrow scheduled for the website to go down briefly.
Yeah, so it's I expect that to be ongoing. I expect them to be doing little fixes and little things that they find out that might have been missed or is a problem. But I don't see them doing any major fixes to it at all. So I think it is what it is until the next build. That's kind of my opinion on that.
Yep. Okay, so next up, I want to jump into a topic that Tony Gardner brought up on the forums. Tony Gardner is the head of iRacing over there, and he called it iRacing on the Upswing. And it's a wall of text, and I'm not going to read it here, but there's some tidbits in here I want to try to paraphrase and share with the audience here, as he tries to communicate about all the things we've just discussed, the website, the upcoming build, you know, where are they at, and that kind of thing. So let me go through this and read off a couple things here. He's seeing there's some recent negativity about a couple main issues. I think number one, the website and the stats being slow during peak activity or even down. And he apologizes and he's frustrated about it. One key sentence here. Anyway, we realized a long time ago our overall design combined with the architecture we chose was not ideal. A priority for quite a long while for us was to work on the existing website optimization while we work on a whole new architecture from scratch. All of that is in the works. The new structure will be rolling out in piecemeal and several elements to it. We also have more optimizations coming out on the existing website as soon as the next couple of weeks, with the goal of improving the speed on many of the stat pages by over 50%. You'll also notice better organization, descriptions, and error handling on the stats and data pages as well. Again, the big project going on in the background is a complete rework of essentially everything to do with the front and back end of the website and data. We're not happy with the design or usability either, and that is all changing. So kind of like you said, Alan, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that we haven't seen yet that hasn't rolled out.
Yep, and yeah, that's to be expected. And I'm sure these little things that they've been doing, a lot of the outages have been exactly what Tony pointed out there. Is just you're going to see little changes here and there, and I think that's just their band-aids, their quick fixes. They're trying to make things a little bit better for us to handle, and actually until we get to the new thing. So
the second big thing he said is that's drawing negativity is simply in what he calls in-sim smooth driving, no stuttering, and good frame rates. He says that's always a top priority and always a battle. They're constantly working on it, and it never ends. The global issues are easier to find, and they fix those quickly, and they're always the highest priority. And he goes on to basically say, they're working on it. They found some things on that front as well, and they'll be rolling out soon. Another key sentence here at the end is, right now we are climbing out of a hole on the website. So, they obviously know that there's a problem. And, when he says we're climbing out of a hole, that's a figure of speech, obviously. But I think it speaks volumes of, hey, we understand you guys are having problems. We understand everyone couldn't register for the 24-hour race, and it was an issue. And it's good to hear from Tony Gardner, the head of iRacing, acknowledge this stuff. So I wanted to take a minute and just kind of talk about what he said. And if you want to read everything, go find his post.
Yeah. So do you think it was all the moaning on the forums that got Tony to write up that?
Yeah, there was a few, key complainers as there usually is, but yeah, I saw some forum posts that had the word negative, iRacing taking a downturn was one subject, and another post I saw was something like, iRacing on a downswing, and so Tony's post is called iRacing on the upswing. So he's trying to, let's spin it another way, and let me read what he finishes with on his dissertation here. Good progress is being made on the website issues. We have more talented people than ever working here and investing more than ever. And we've discussed this before. Better management and review, looking to hire more people to raise the bar higher and faster. We have more drive than ever to build the best racing sim and service we can. In my opinion, more great things in the works than ever, and I'm not just talking about cars and tracks. I'm talking about improvements to the structure, new features, improved physics, a better experience overall, and even some surprises. Thank you for your support.
All right.
So thanks, Tony, if you're listening. We do appreciate iRacing, chiming in and trying to, answer some of these people's concerns and whatnot.
Yeah. So what kind of problems have you had since the build? came out, I think, in December.
Well, since the September bill, I personally have had connection problems. I've been on, this is my 4th year. I went 3 years without a connection issue. Same hardware, nothing's changed. And I've even bought new networking equipment. I bought a new modem and a new router, and I still get, dropouts occasionally and whatnot, and messing up people's races, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, but besides the connection issue, have you had any problems within the sim at all?
No, I've been good.
How about on the website?
Occasionally, when other people can't join a race, I also can't usually. But I'm okay with it. I understand, because we talk about this on the podcast, obviously.
Mhm.
But I understand what they're working on, and it's going to be nice.
Yeah, and for me, I think the website issues has been manageable. I don't think it's been that bad. I mean, yeah, it's there's some areas that slow down. There's some areas where I might feel like, well, I'll just have to close down my browser and bring it back up. And actually, now I changed browsers for iRacing only to Google Chrome, because for some reason from my system it seems to work better. Everything else I use Internet Explorer, but so I changed that. But but in the sim, I have some slight stuttering type of stuff, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Some of it is caused by me because I tried some streaming stuff. I tried those browser app things on my stream. That guy actually caused some pretty big stuttering. I didn't care for that, so I stopped using that. But some of it's like my issues, and actually I'm looking forward to what DX11 brings us before I upgrade my computer again. But it really hasn't been that bad for me. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, it hadn't really affected me all that much. Sometimes with the site being down bugs me, but I can get over that.
Yeah, Jose? I thought maybe he was listening. Yeah, so I still don't think it's that bad. Right now my big thing is the damage model. I don't like the fact that guys don't seem to be penalized when they got half a car, but otherwise, for me, it's the website's the website, and there's going to be some problems, and it's almost. Jose, open mic. And so anyway, it's I'm able to deal with the website stuff, but for me, it's the sim stuff that's the most important. I think it should be for anyone, whether you own Project Cars or whether you own R Factor 2 or whatever it is that you're playing. That's the most important part of the thing. And so that to me, that's the deal. As long as I can get in the races I want to get in and be able to move around where I want to move around, I'm able to deal with it.
Yeah. As long as we can race.
Yep.
I'm wondering if you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest problem with the website has been the stuttering problem. I used to run my system with not full graphic settings. I would say halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way, full settings. I've had to downgrade that to decrease my settings visually because of all the stuttering. Particularly when people enter the room is when I get the most stuttering.
All right, just trying to pick up what TV show you're watching there, Jose.
I'm sorry.
So,
The Big Bang Theory.
Okay, there we go. All right, Mike, why don't you talk about the new thing, since I really have no idea what you're discussing here. So,
Well, it's just a funny story. It happened on Facebook. I guess when you're in iRacing, you get to know people that are iRacers that you've never met in real life. And one of those guys I knew on Facebook and as an iRacer, but have never met in person, was Mike Norris. Well, unfortunately, Mike Norris did pass away some time ago. I think it was a year ago or longer. rest in peace. I used to race with this guy in Nordgar League, and all of a sudden, just the other day, up pops a Facebook Messenger message from Mike Norris, and it's got his picture on it, the picture that he used to use, and it says his name. And I click on his name, and it's his profile that he used to have, and he's IMing me, and I thought that was a little strange. And I went and Googled his name with the word iRacing in it, and sure enough, there was a a race memorial that I ran in that was broadcast more than a year ago, where we were trying to raise money for his family after he had passed. And anyway, I saw all the people that he had friended, and it looks like it's a spam account trying to pick up on people, and he friended a lot of different iRacers that I know. So I just wanted to mention this. Don't let this guy scam you. I don't think he's real.
All right. And in the show's video showcase, I want to talk about John Hall's YouTube channel. John Hall basically runs GT3 races, and I believe this season he's in the rough track car. But sometimes he'll switch it around. And he does actually in each week, I think he does a race prep, where he basically goes through and goes through on how he's setting up the car and everything for the current track that he's on. And it's actually quite interesting to watch if you're interested in GT3's setup. And he'll go through, and they can be quite long videos there, and he'll run some laps and make some changes and tell you the reason why he's making the changes and that type of stuff. So it's very good. Plus he then of course he puts up his races and stuff, and it's very good. He's a pretty good racer. He normally races around the top split there, and I believe the username on there is just HALLINIZ. So if you just want to it's like Jay Holland or something like that, you can look up Jay Holland, and that will bring you to his YouTube channel. But it's someone that I enjoy watching, so I wanted to make sure I put it on thing. And our next section is hardware, but before we reach into this, but it is hardware related. Mike, what a hell of a fourth monitor you put up. Talk about, first of all, Mike's got a heck of a rig, and Carlos, I don't know if you can show the picture up on the Twitch and the YouTube thing of Mike's rig, but Mike's got a heck of a rig where it just looks like he's got monitors all over the place and tablets and that type of stuff, and he's got this huge fourth monitor now sticking up. Talk a little bit about your rig there, Mike.
Well, it's a Butto Revolution cockpit with triple monitor mount, 27-inch monitors, and underneath that to the right, I have a 27-inch touchscreen that's hooked to a laptop that's separate from the sim computer. And then I have an iPad and an iPhone nearby for button box and temps. And then I just got for my birthday, which is tomorrow, from my wonderful wife, a 55-inch 4K LG TV, which is hung on the wall right up above my rig, and was running gauges up on that. And it's actually perfect. I mean, when I'm sitting in my chair and I look above the center monitor, it's right lined up with the bottom of the big screen. So, yeah, big old gauges up on the wall. I love it. And I did fix it where the wires are not showing. I have a cable trough in the wall. I just hadn't used that yet.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Actually, it looks like you got a few dollars sunk into your equipment there. So, but it looks quite nice. I will say that. All right, why don't you talk about the new train paints? What? All right, well, new trading paints is here, and for anybody that was looking to put in their new car or whatever they had for the 24-hour, it came up right before I believe the day before the 24-hour race, and they got a brand new look to it. But it's it looks like they really did a job there. But you can see all the cars on your left, and then when you click on the car, then you can see exactly what paint that you have going for it. And then below it shows all the teams that you're involved in. And ones where you can actually pick the cars when you're owner of the team will allow you to actually pick the paint for that team. And you can just use the current one that you're currently racing, or it allows you to pick a different one. So it's and it actually looks pretty good. Pretty good job on their website, and I appreciate everything that the guys at Train Paints has done for the iRacing community.
Can you hear me?
Yep, now we can.
Okay, lost the sound there for a minute. Trading Paints, I wanted to say I'm a paying member, and I really enjoyed the new update. And it's a lot more streamlined. It's just one page, and you just scroll, and you have everything there on that one page. And I like that you don't have to, I have to switch between oval, back to road, and that kind of thing. And it's just really streamlined. I really like that. Some other changes that they did where you can upload JPEGs and PNGs now, not just TGAs, and they will convert them for you. And there used to be a 10-minute delay, and now there's no delay.
Okay, that's nice that there's no delay. So and your team is got some new paints coming?
Well, I'll let Carlos talk about that. He's been working on them. So
Wait, what am I doing?
the
New paints.
Well, really, if you think about it, I'm actually looking at Trading Paints here. One of the things I used as basically something to base off the template or whatever I did to make the paints to look decent. I actually cheated a little bit and stole one from another cup car and just slapped it on there, then changed the colors around, and it somehow worked. And I don't know, let me look for it real quick, and it seems to look pretty awesome if you ask me.
Yeah, I think I think your cars look real nice. The new ones that you painted up for your team, I think they look really, really sharp.
Yeah, and as a Trading Paints Pro subscriber, I can run a different paint for night races versus day races. So you can set that up. And so Carlos is working on a inverse. Here's a white and red, with red being predominant, but he has an inverse of this as well, where it's the other way around.
I was also working on a 4th of July one for myself. I don't got that posted yet.
All right.
And you're still working on the Toyota. You did the Chevy and the Ford, right?
Yep.
So yeah, we're working on it. I just wanted to mention we got new paints coming for the team. I'm excited for this new season, and we're going to kick it off with some new colors.
All right. And since we got a league race coming up here real quick, let's get to our final thoughts. Mike.
None today, actually.
All right. I'm going to go real quick here. Carlos here on the iRacers Lounge is going for our Xfinity Winter League Championship, and he's in a tight battle with one of my teammates, Colton Landis, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Actually, good luck to both of you guys. It's been quite fun watching you guys battle this through, and Carlos, actually, I think you took the lead in that Texas race that you won, and so it's been quite fun there, and the league the racing seems to be getting better so far in the league, but tonight we're at Phoenix, which I call crappy racing there, but we'll see how it goes today. But otherwise, and then hopefully maybe on a future show we'll have our Baker Racing Winter Cup champion on the show here, which I'm not going to say who it is because we're not done yet. But anyway, we should probably end this so we can join that race.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
See ya.
All right, guys. Good show.
Thanks for listening to the iRacers Lounge podcast. Make sure to go subscribe to us on YouTube, follow on Twitter and Facebook, and SoundCloud. See you on the track.